I need to stop procrastinating going outside. We're just gonna have to go outside. Hello my loves, and thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten and we are at the start of the Relax and Readathon, which is a 24-hour readathon I host bi-monthly, and it's all focused on getting you to take basically a self-care day, but also reading while you're at it, because if you're anything like me, you've got a large TBR to be getting through. So let's get started. It is currently 8:45 on the 8th of August, which is earlier than what I wanted to do this. Originally, I was going to be doing this on the Saturday. So it's come up on that day, so I can't do the readathon that day. So I'm doing it the day before, but starting it the evening before that so that I get a nice full day of it. So basically, I'm going to be starting 9 p.m. till 9 p.m. and I'm very excited for it. I am really in the reading mood and I have 4 books that I'm very excited to get through, and I feel like this page count is so manageable. But let's get to the main thing, the not so surprising thing, which is I am swapping out a book on my TBR. Of course I am. So it was meant to be A Room with a View by E.M. Forster as one of the books that I was reading for this readathon. I think this one was to read a book that's on my TBR. I don't know. One of the prompts. We have a whole bingo board. I will take you through it in just a moment, but it was meant to be this. However, I am swapping this book out and instead gonna go with Camilla, the edited version by Carmen Maria Machado is the one that's done the edits, and the Camilla story is by Sheridan Lafano. Now, I have actually already read Camilla. I really enjoyed it. It's a really good book. So this is gonna be like a reread for me, but with all the edits, I'm really intrigued to see what's going to be commented on and everything. But this is actually for Jan's full moon readathon. But basically, Jan's doing a full moon readathon from the 1st to the 13th of August. I am trying to complete 2 main characters for that. So you collect these different characters and each character has 2 reading prompts and then an extra lifestyle prompt. Reading Camilla for the Raven prompt of reading a classic. So we're going to be getting that done during this readathon. So just combining the 2 readathons together, which is honestly what I thought I would end up doing. When I originally set this readathon TBR, I can't remember if I knew I'd already be taking part in forming readathon or what I was doing for it, but it was always a possibility to swap out the TBR. It's pretty normal around here. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing. So we're combining the 2 readathons together. That's nice and simple. Once I've read this book, that's the Jan's part of forming readathon done. We have a bingo board for my readathon. There are 4 reading prompts and 4 lifestyle prompts. I will be doing the lifestyle prompts. You'll see that in B-roll throughout the vlog that we do, and then the 4 reading prompts, we'll just quickly go over them. So Camilla is going to work for a book on my TBR. We have a prompt of continue a series or a book you're in the middle of. I'm going with the continue a series part. I'm reading Moriarty the Patriot volume 3. Really excited to read this one. I've been loving this series. I read the first 2 volumes last year. It's been ages since I've got back into it, so I really want to get back into this manga. And then we have Yona of the Dawn for a book I've been meaning to read for a while. Or was this one for a book on my TBR? It doesn't matter which way around, because this one I have been meaning to read for a while because I was introduced to it by Katie, who fell in love with this series last year. I finally picked up a volume. However, I've been putting off actually picking up the volume because I'm not sure if this is a sort of manga I'll be into. I feel like I should be, but also I'm not sure. And then the final prompt is to read a short book, and I am going with Goblin Market by Christina Rossetti. There are other poems in here, however, I will just be reading Goblin Market, which is only 16 pages long. So those are the books I want to be reading for this readathon. I feel really confident that I can get all of these read because they are so short. So I actually feel like potentially, depending on how the reading mood takes me, I could even get more read because I'm not doing anything tomorrow apart from this readathon. That's the idea of it, is that you take a day for yourself. I will be doing other things, like I need to set up my reading journal for my reset video, but that also counts as a cozy hobby prompt. I might as well talk about the lifestyle prompts because we do have the 4 lifestyle prompts, as I said. So first one's make a hot beverage. We're literally going to do that after this update because I want a cup of tea. Also, just having a beverage of your choice if you don't like hot drink. We then have going outside, which I probably will go for a walk tomorrow as long as the weather's good. If not, we're going to crack open a window and that will do. A cozy hobby. Now, reading does count, so if you only want to read all day, that is what you can, but it also is there so that nobody feels bad about about the fact that they decide to go and watch their favourite TV series, or play on their Switch, or knit, or do all the other things, like all the other hobbies that we never really get a chance to do or want to do more of, or just want to do for the day. I'm gonna probably end up counting the journaling bit for that, but also last time I did cooking as a prompt for it, so we'll see how the mood takes me. And then the final one is kind of setting the mood for yourself, having a bit of music on or lighting a candle, something like that. That's all the prompts. That's what's happening for this readathon. It's pretty self-explanatory. I've got the whole playlist if you do want to see any of the other videos. I have been really enjoying hosting these. Oh, Discord. We also have a Discord that will all be linked below for you, where I do live updates of what I'm currently reading. They already knew about the change in plans before I even started doing this vlog, so they knew the change plans, they knew the change in reading plans. They know all of it. Everyone takes part. Again, you don't have to even do it on the same day. People will just pop in throughout the month and be like, oh, I'm starting the readathon now, I'm going to do it over the course of a week. And then they'll give updates on what they're reading and stuff. It's lovely. I love it over there. I think we're really building a nice community. But that is all free to join if you want to, but no pressure. Okay, that's it. This is a really long, rambly intro. I do apologise. I literally just finished updating my weekly vlog and I was in very much like a waffling mood, and I still am. So I'm gonna save you for any more long rambles, and we're gonna get to reading. I don't know what I feel like. I want to start off with a manga so that I feel really accomplished early on and I get a book done, but I'm not sure which way I want to go. I'm kind of tempted to go Yona because this is the one that I feel like I may not like, so getting this done will be one, good to see whether I like this sort of manga, because it's a historical romance, which normally I would like, but I'm not sure if I'm going to like it in manga format. I feel like, yeah, maybe we'll start off with this, we'll do a cup of tea and we'll settle in with this. Then I will give thoughts. It might end up being in the morning if I'm tired and I can't bother to update again, but yeah, this is what we're doing. I hope you enjoy. Even if you didn't take part, I hope you've been able to take a little bit of time for yourself. Let's go make that cup of tea. Almost 9 o'clock in the morning, so it's been pretty much 12 hours since I last updated, since we started the readathon and everything, and in that time I have slept. I can't go without sleep. Gone are the days where I could stay up 24 hours. It just doesn't happen anymore. But we did do some good reading yesterday. I've actually read half of my TBR, which I am so impressed about. I did start off the readathon with Yona of the Dawn volume 1, and I was a bit nervous going into this one because it is historical romance manga. It's not the sort of manga I normally gravitate towards. However, I really enjoyed this. It ended up being so much more engaging than what I thought it was going to be. So we're following Yona, who is a princess. On her 16th birthday, she sees her father get murdered, and it sets off this chain of events, and that's just the first bit, that's all we see. But it was so good, like you really felt for Yona, you really felt for the friendships that she's got. You get different perspectives as well, so you get a perspective from Hack, her bodyguard, you get a perspective from her childhood best friend Soo-won, and I really liked that because it meant that you got really attached to the characters very quickly. Definitely going to continue on with this series. However, I do have the problem of this is a very long series. It's like over 40 volumes, and I do not have the shelf space for that or the money, because let's face it, it's rather expensive to get 40 odd volumes when they're all about £8 plus each. That's expensive. So I think what I'm going to do is speak to my partner, because he reads a lot of manga online. He really loves manga. So I'm going to speak to him and be like, where can I read this online? And then maybe pick up like my favourite volumes or something and do it that way. But I feel really sad saying that, because manga is something that I really like to read physically. Reading online, I just don't get the same connection to it. But we're going to give it a try. But yeah, this was really good. I'm really, really pleased that I picked this one up. It was just so much better than I thought it was going to be. And Yona, when you first meet her, she is very much like a vain 16-year-old. You know, she's a 16-year-old. She's focused on herself. She's not really focused on anything else. Like, she's constantly worrying about her hair and stuff. And then this thing happens, and now you're going to see how it's going to change her. It's going to affect her. I just thought it was really good. So that was amazing. We're off to a really good start. I decided to read Goblin Market, and it was so good. Oh, I enjoyed this so much. The writing was just beautiful. This poem tells the tale of two sisters, Lizzie and Laura gets enamored with the goblins who sell these forbidden fruit. It is known that if you eat these fruits, then you are going to wither away. And that is exactly what happens to Laura, and Lizzie is like, I'm not having this, so she's determined to go out and save her sister. It was so good. Like, I thought it was so well done. As I was reading this, it was reminding me of Lips Touch. This is a short story collection by Lani Taylor, and one of the stories in here is called Goblin Fruit, and I was like, I really recognize a lot of this story because of this short story. So I finished this, I went and got this, and I reread the first few pages of this, and yes, I was right. So Goblin Fruit by Lani Taylor is a direct inspiration / continuation of Goblin Market, because the two characters, Lizzie and Laura, are mentioned in here as being Kizzy, our main character's grandparents, and it is told about how her grandmother saved her sister by refusing the goblins, having to deal with all of their punishments and stuff to save her sister. Honestly, it was great, but it's also made me now want to actually finish out this short story collection, because I've got one short story left. This is something I started, was it earlier this year? And I read 2 of the short stories, and I think it was in a readathon. I've got this one left. So I really also now want to finish out this, because Goblin Market, it's just really given me the want to finish out this short story collection. So this may happen depending on how much we get read today. I would also like to read more of the poems that are in Goblin Market as well. So we'll see if I can get to these, because before that I am going to read these. I'm going to get focused on these instead, just so that the TBR is done, and then if I have the time, then I will finish out these. And I think that would be really good. What is probably going to happen is I'm probably going to read some poems from this collection throughout the day, just kind of sprinkled throughout the day, because it's not going to take me long, because the rest of the poems are quite short anyway. But we're going to start off the day with these. I don't really know which one I want to start reading first out of the 2. I feel like it should be Carmilla, because this is also for Jan's readathon. So I feel like I should start out with this. It's really not long. It is just over 120 pages, and this edition is gorgeous because we have loads of illustrations in here. Let me get you one that's not a spoiler for the story. Like, look at this, it is gorgeous. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this. Carmilla is it's a short vampire story, and it's got sapphic romance. Carmilla is a vampire, and we are seeing Carmilla, who ends up staying with our main character, what's her name? Laura. So Laura lives with her dad in this isolated castle, and she really just wants companionship. One day this carriage comes along and gets wrecked. This girl, Carmilla, ends up staying with them, and then starts this string of events. It's really good. I really, really enjoyed it, but like I say, I can't wait to read all of the footnotes that are in this book that are the additions from Carmen Maria Machado. I think it's going to be very interesting to read. You know what? We're going to start out this. I'm going to have some breakfast. We're going to start reading this for the day. And then we're going to go from there. It's been a long time since I've started this readathon and actually had half of my TBR read this early on in the readathon. It's been a long time. The previous readathons, I've actually scrapped all 4 books to read 1 book throughout the day, and that was great. Honestly, I really enjoyed it. It was great to mood read out of it all, but I also feel so accomplished getting some of these things off my TBR and actually making a dent in my TBR. And 4 out of the amount I have is not much, but it's nice, you know? Okay, right, I'm just rambling on and we've got all day to do that to you. So I'm going to do myself a hot drink, do some toast, and then we're going to get to reading Carmilla. I think that is the plan. Hour or so? No, it's been longer than that. It's like 10:30 and I have read half of Carmilla. I am now up to chapter 7, page 65, and I am really liking this. There's always something comforting about having a reread, and it is really interesting seeing Carmen's additions to it and the introduction. The introduction was talking about how Sheridan Lofano, this was basically some letters that he found. So it's not even his original work officially, is kind of the gist of what I was getting from this, but I'm still liking it. So we have had Carmilla arrive at, it's a mansion, not a castle, but it has a moat and everything, so I'm going to say it's a castle. Yeah, it's basically a castle. We've had Carmilla arrive and they are, well, becoming fast friends. They're getting to know one another. Laura does feel a little bit nervous at times with some of the things, the way Carmilla can be. You know what, I don't even know why I'm holding my camera. I've got my tripod right here, hang on, that's a lot easier. But yeah, so Laura is feeling a little bit kind of apprehensive at some of the stuff that Carmilla does, how forward she is, and how she feels like they are a bit too overly familiar with one another. But we have had a series of young girls in the local village that are passing away, and they all seem to be passing away in the exact same manner, where they have this like experience where they feel like something is like either pressing down on them at night. Within a week they're passing away, they're just slowly deteriorating away. And we're seeing how Laura's father is very concerned about what's going on, has asked the doctor to come to their mansion to see if there's anything they can do, anything they can protect about it and stuff. But it seems a lot of people are feeling like this very like supernatural means. I'm really happy with the reread of this, and I really like some of the commentary. There isn't actually as many footnotes as I thought there was going to be. You just get little things. Sometimes it's just clarification of a certain area, so if they're say in a town, where that town's actually located. Some of it is explaining some words. We have a gentleman that's coming up to Carmilla and Laura to sell them some trinkets, ward against the Allpire, which is the Polish vampire. So you've got that just highlighted, and then you've got other things that are just a little bit more focused in on, like the fact that Carmilla got so frustrated with the funeral song, and how it's then noted that it's an early example of the vampire loathing religious imagery and ceremony. And just like those little things, it just adds to it. And also the illustrations, like they're not loads of them, they just kind of like throughout, interspaced quite nicely throughout the book, which I really am liking. So yeah, this is good. It's a nice quick read, to be fair, because I already know the story, but also just in general, with once you've got the illustrations and things like that, it's just such an easy read. However, I am feeling a little bit like tired. I was reading this and I was getting really like chill and tired and thinking like, oh, I could easily nap. And I'm like, no, you've barely been awake. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to take a break from reading. I'm going to do my reading journal set up for September for my reset video. So we're going to get that done, and then we'll come back to reading. I'm just debating whether I go out today or maybe go... It depends. If the weather holds off and it doesn't rain, then I'll probably take maybe Moriarty and go to the local park, which is not far away, and just sit there and read that for an hour. Depends on the weather. It looks really overcast outside, or it may just end up being a walk to like the local grocery store and just picking up a few things, because I don't even know what I want for dinner, so it might end up being that. I don't know is basically what I'm saying. I don't really know what I want to do with my day, but just wanted to update, say that I have read half of this, that I'm liking it, but I need a break. I need to do something different. I'm feeling really confident because, let's face it, I've literally got half a book and one manga to read and then my TBR is done. Feeling really confident. I would love to say that I feel like I could get loads of other stuff done, not just the short story from Lips Touch, and that we can go through my shelves and have a little rummage. At the same time, I don't want to start adding to the TBR and then not be able to read it, so I think we're going to get everything read first. If we've got time at the end, we'll have a little rummage through the shelves and see if there's anything else that's small that we can just tick off. Let's just go do that journaling. I might give you a little sneak peek for what's coming in the reset video, but yeah, okay, let's just go and do that and then I can come back to this. Quarter to 2, which I keep updating at quarter to whatever hour is coming up, which is hilarious, but it's now quarter to 2 and honestly I've done quite a lot. I did do the journal setup that I wanted to do for my reading journal, so I'm really pleased I got that done out the way. Then I also did some lunch and I have finished Carmilla. Yes, this took me a little bit longer than it needed to finish this book, to be honest. Like, I did potter around, do some tidying up and like little bits and stuff. Even with this having taken a little bit longer, we've still got, what, 7 hours and 15 minutes of this readathon and I've already finished 3 out of the 4 books that I wanted to read. I will say I did read an extra poem. I did read Dreamland and I don't know, I didn't really like that. It's not bad. I'm just not a massive poetry person, but I think I do like epic leaning poetry, which the Goblin Market seemed to be more of for me because it was actually telling a story. I liked that. I don't think these smaller poems are going to be as much for me. I'm still going to give a couple more a try and just see. I feel like maybe it's just the fact that the Goblin Market reads more like an actual story. It's more like an epic poem. I don't know, but I loved it. Anyway, I thought this would be a good point to go through the bingo board and see what I've actually done. So, looking at the bingo board, we can definitely tick off 3 of the book prompts. Reading a book on my TBR, that was Carmilla, which I did really enjoy. I really enjoyed this. It's the classic story that I like anyway. You know, if you are looking for a vampire classic story but a little bit intimidated by Dracula, Camilla's a really good one to do. And I just think the little additions were just really insightful and some were really funny and it was just good. Like, I enjoyed this. The illustrations were just wonderful. So I'm pleased to have finally read this because I got this ages ago. Then a book I've wanted to read for a while we know is Yona, so we can tick that prompt off as well, which we know I absolutely adored. I did read the short poem Goblin Market that I wanted. So those are the 3 bookish prompts done. And then looking at the lifestyle prompts, I've already had a hot drink. We did that last night, so that's done. Then enjoy a cozy hobby. I can put the reading journal set up as that because it is a hobby of mine that I enjoy doing, but I am also thinking after this update to do some baking, do some pastries. It's really nothing fancy, but I've got some like cute little heart cutout things, and I've got some puff pastry and some raspberries and stuff, so I'm feeling like doing something like that. So I might end up also using the baking for a cozy hobby. Go outside. I have not done that. I've not gone outside yet. I do need to, because I need to pop, like I said, to get some groceries and stuff anyway, but I'm thinking to do that a little bit later in the day. And then I've got the final one of lighting a candle / playing music, which I haven't done that either. I've had some YouTube videos on in the background, but I'm thinking again, probably this evening we'll light a candle this evening. But I feel like out of the 8, we've already got a good amount done. Like there's literally 2 lifestyle prompts and 1 reading prompt left to go and we're done, which is amazing. While I'm doing this though, going through these, I might as well have a look at Jan's readathon for the Raven prompt. Yes, because I can, technically I've ticked off 2 of the Raven prompts within this readathon as well. So the first one we knew we were doing is Camilla for reading a classic, although actually Goblin Market could also work because it's a poem, and it does say here it can be a classic book, poem or short story. So technically I've done that prompt twice. But the lifestyle prompt for the Raven is to take time to journal, which we've done. We have done a journal setup. I mean, I'm actually going to do my journal. I don't know what to call this. Like I write down my thoughts and feelings and stuff in a journal. So I will actually be doing that as well. I'll be completing that twice. But I feel like, yeah, we've done really well. Looking at both the readathon prompts that I wanted to get done. I've done the ones for Jan that I wanted to get done. That's amazing. We've pretty much finished my readathon prompts, which again is amazing. But I think the next thing I'm going to do, we're going to do some pastry making. Well, okay, I'm not going to make the pastry. Like it's pre-rolled pastry, but we're gonna do some baking and stuff anyway. And then I think, yeah, then we'll just move on to Moriarty. Probably be able to get Lips Touch finished, that book, because it's a short story. I think that one's 120 pages. Let's have a look. It's 120 pages exactly. So I could probably definitely get this one done. And then because we've still got 7 hours, I mean, okay, I'm thinking if we logically pace me out. So this is probably going to take me 2 hours. Moriarty is probably going to be like maybe an hour. So that's 3 hours done. Take out a bit of time to do the pastry making, go do some food shopping and bits, probably about another hour or so, maybe 2 hours out of my day for like pottering around doing stuff. So that still leaves me with another 2 hours where I could read something, and I don't know what. I genuinely don't know. Should we go have a look at something? I was gonna wait, but should we have a look at something that we can have ready on the TBR just in case I get this all done? Let's go have a look at the shelves. I'm quite conscious of the fact that we're probably only gonna have like 2 hours top end at the end of this readathon. So I'm trying to think what would be a short book. I could, in all honesty, carry on with some of the manga because I do have volumes 4, 5, 6, and 7. I have all of these of Moriarty, so I could honestly read a few more volumes of that if I get really into it. So we might save that. Otherwise, what's a couple of other short books? Let me see what I can find. Oh wait, I forgot. This one is on my TBR for the month. Mary Shelley's Transformations, only 100 pages long. It's a short story collection. I wouldn't want to finish the whole short story today, like the whole collection today, but I could definitely read one short story from there at least today. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we can do Moriarty 3, which is on the TBR for the readathon. Then do this as like a short story, and then maybe do some more manga if we've got time at the end of the readathon. Ooh, potentially. Okay, let's go make some pastries, and then we'll see what I end up reading as extras for the readathon. were delicious. That was absolutely lovely. I mean, it was the simplest thing in the world. Puff pastry, I sprinkled some caster sugar over it, shoved it in the oven, and then just served it with creme fraiche, raspberries and a bit of honey. The bit of honey was a bit excessive because did I pay attention to how much I was pouring? Hell no. I was too busy checking it was in frame, and then I just saw this dollop come out on the camera and I was like, oh. But I don't mind. I mean, I love honey. I love honey, so it's fine. But I have done some more reading updates. It's now almost 4:20 and I have some reading updates. So I have finished Moriarty the Patriot Volume 3. I did have to kind of flick through Volume 2 because it's been such a long time since I've read that manga volume that I just didn't really know what was going on, so I had to get reacquainted. This series is following Moriarty, so Professor Moriarty, Sherlock Holmes' nemesis, and we're seeing the reason why Moriarty did the things he did, how he became the criminal mastermind that Sherlock Holmes was up against. And I really liked this. This was showing Moriarty, especially towards the end of the volume, how he wants to overthrow the nobles, overthrow the hierarchy, and he will do whatever it takes to be able to do that. I really liked this. I do want to continue on. I don't think it's my favourite manga. I love it because it is a twist on Sherlock Holmes, so I love it just because of that. If you've been around on this channel for a while, you know that I really do like interpretations of our classics and seeing what we do with the original source material and how much it inspires people and the things that we can come up with, and I love that. So I like it for that, but I think in terms of actually keeping me engaged with what's going on, I think I do prefer things like The Promised Neverland. I think that's my favourite one that I've come across so far, but I am still liking this, and honestly, yeah, I am thinking today, if I manage to get everything done early enough, then I definitely will read Volume 4. Is what I'm thinking. So I'm thinking we're gonna add that one to the TBR at the very least. I have also started the last short story in here, The Hatchling, and I mean, I've only just started it. I've read the first chapter, so I've read 20 pages of this. We've got 100 pages to go. And this one, we're following a young girl, Esme, and she wakes up on her 14th birthday or just before her 14th birthday, and one of her eyes has turned ice blue, and her mum, Mab, freaks out. She freaks out, and her life's been very weird anyway, and Esme gives us a kind of a rundown of all the weird, unusual things. Esme's been kept very separated from society, and they do everything themselves. Her mom's always had these really bad nightmares and things, and she's terrified of these things happening, and now they're on the run because they've been found, and Esme has no idea. But I'm liking it. I mean, I like Lani Taylor's writing. It's just very beautiful. I really enjoy it, so I'm intrigued to see where the rest of this is going to go. But right now I'm actually planning to go to the shop. I had initially planned, I don't know if I said it in this video, but had initially planned to go to the park and read Moriarty for an hour in the park, but I don't know, I just didn't want to. I just didn't want to, and honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that the go outside prompt is on the bingo card thing, I probably wouldn't bother going outside. I mean, I would, because there's a few things I need to get for like dinner, and I want to get some juice and things like this. But if I didn't have to, I probably wouldn't. I'm very much a homebody. I love staying at home in my flat. Like, it's just so nice. I'm very content to stay at home reading all day and not venture outside. It is good to get outside. It is good to get outside, get some fresh air and stuff, but I don't really feel like reading outside. I'm just gonna pop to the shop, get the bits that I need and come back. So I think that's the next bit of B-roll you're gonna see. Yeah, come back, finish off this. I mean, we've still got just under 5 hours, so there's no reason why I can't get this done, and then also Volume 4, and then we'll probably do, like, if I have a spare half hour before the readathon finishes, then I'll probably do the first short story in the Mary Shelley short story collections that is on my TBR for the month anyway. That's really good. Oh, with that book done though, that is all 4 of the reading prompts done off of the bingo card, which I am very impressed with, and we're about to complete actually going outside. Then there's only one lifestyle prompt I have left to complete, which is lighting a candle or playing some music or something, and I'm thinking, it's very warm today, actually it's quite warm, so I don't know if I'm gonna do a candle, but probably put on like a YouTube ambience room instead and have that on in the background, because I love those. I love setting the scene. Although I will admit, in the last it's like since I last updated, while I've been cooking pastries and like reading the volume and stuff, I've had Netflix program on in the background, which is Night Story Stalker. It's a serial killer true crime thing, and I do really like having true crime on in the background. I don't know why, but I really do, as long as it's not dark. If it's dark, we can't do that. We have to go to something else. But normally at that point we go to BookTube and reading and stuff, because, you know, books aren't mean and scary and gonna freak me out at night. So but I have been enjoying that. Probably not gonna update again before the end of this readathon now, I don't think, because it really is just gonna be finishing out this, which I'm liking, but because it's a short story, it's not like I can go into too many details, so I think it's easier to do once I've finished it, and then I can give an overview without spoiling anything. And then if I have anything extra, if I manage to fit in the extra volume and stuff, I can talk about that as well. But again, I won't be going into too much detail because I don't want to spoil the series for you. So probably the next time we sit down will be to close out this video. But I've been having a really nice, relaxed day. It's been really lovely to just chill out, take a day to tackle a few things off my TBR, make some pastries, do some journaling. Like, it's been so chill. It's been really, really nice. But right, okay, stop waffling. I need to stop procrastinating going outside. We're just gonna have to go outside. I want the juice anyway, and I want a few bits for dinner, so we just need to do it. Just need to go out there. Pretty much 9 o'clock. Actually, let me just double check the time. It is 8:54, so by the time I've done this update, the readathon is done. And honestly, I've had a really lovely day. It's been so nice, so chill. I'm actually pleased I didn't go out for like sitting in the park as I'd planned, because it was so hot outside. Even when I went out, by the time I'd stopped faffing around and actually gone out, it was almost 5 o'clock of an evening and it was still really, really warm. So as much as it would have been nice, I also think I probably wouldn't have even sat outside for long because it was just too hot. But okay, let's go through everything I read, because I have literally just finished reading Lips Touch, which I really liked. This last story, this one had a lot more to it than the others. It was the longest short story out of this collection, and this whole collection is all about that moment just before Lips Touch, and we have different kind of things being explored in each one. In obviously Goblin Fruit, it was the work of Christina Rossetti's Goblin Market, which was really well done. The second one, which was Spicy Little Curses, was about I think this one was set in India, I want to say. Yeah, it was set in India, and it was to do with this curse between this particular demon and everything. Like, that was really interesting. And this last one was so beautiful. Like, it was creepy at times. It had that otherworldly feel to it that made it feel a little bit haunting, but it was also really, really lovely. I really enjoyed this. This was a great little short story, and I'm really pleased that that's what I'm ending my day with, because unfortunately I didn't get to the other two things. I feel like, could I have done it? Yes. If I had been more focused on getting loads read, like only reading all day, I could have honestly read the extra things that I was going to read. So the extra volume of Moriarty and then a short story from this Mary Shelley collection. However, the point of these readathons isn't necessarily to spend all day reading unless that's exactly what you want to do, which is pretty much what I have done, but it's also to remember you can just enjoy it other times. So I started watching Downton Abbey, which is a show that I've been interested in because of how much I love Bridgerton, and I've watched the first 2 episodes, and I can say so far I'm not loving it as much as Bridgerton. I'm also happy to have it on in the background. Like, I had it on in the background while I was cooking, while I was eating dinner. So yes, I could have read more, but I'm very, very happy with the amount I got read because I still read a really good amount. To recap this readathon and everything I've read, first of all, we completed all the prompts on the bingo board, which I am so happy with. As we saw right at the very end of this, I was actually listening to a nighttime ambiance. It's actually from Skyrim, the night scene from Skyrim, and I really, really like it. I don't know, there's just something about it that I really like having on in the background, and it was the perfect pairing to go while I was reading this, and that was really great. So I spent the last hour and a bit of the day doing that, which was lovely. So yeah, so I completed everything on the bingo board, which is great. Go through everything I read. So we started out reading Yona of the Dawn Volume 1, which ended up being a surprisingly good read for me. Like, it ended up being a win, and I definitely will be continuing on. Manga does take me a longer time to actually read because I tend to try and save them for these readathons, which is silly because I have more than enough volumes to read other than just at this relax and readathon time, but it's what I do. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be carrying on with this one. I really enjoyed it. A nice historical romance, but there's a bit of like plot to it and risk that I enjoyed about this that I will definitely be continuing on with. So that was a really good way to start out the readathon. The next thing I read was The Goblin Market by Christina Rossetti. I have tried a couple of the other little poems and they're fine. I'm just not getting into them as much, but I'm really pleased that I've got Goblin Market because I really liked that, and I loved seeing how the influence of Goblin Market has been used in so many different things, because it's been used loads. It's even been used in the Wayward Children series by Shauna Maguire. Like, there's so many books that Goblin Market has been adapted into that it was just great. I really, really enjoyed this. And then decided to read Carmilla, fulfilling my readathon but also Jan's full moon readathon, and this was really good. I really enjoyed this edited version. It really gave like a new lease of life to the classic for me, which I really enjoyed, and I do like this classic. Is it a favourite classic ever? No, not particularly. I do think I prefer things like The Picture of Dorian Gray, in particular the uncensored version, or Frankenstein, things like that, but I did really enjoy seeing this edited version. The illustrations were gorgeous and I loved the insights to this classic that made me think of it in a different way, which I really appreciated. So that was really good. And then I read Moriarty the Patriot Volume 3, which I did really like. It took me a moment to kind of realise where we were at again because, as I said, hadn't read the second one in a long time. Was really happy to get back into this, and it's definitely a series I do want to continue on with, and I have, as I realised, another 4 volumes sat there just waiting for me to read, so that is perfect. I'm glad that I finally started making progress with this series because it is one that I do want to collect all of and read. I like the Sherlock Holmes influences and seeing a story behind Moriarty that we don't normally get, so I enjoyed that. And then finally I added in the final short story, Hatchling, in this short story collection, Lips Touch by Lani Taylor, and it was perfect. Again, this one had really lovely illustrations. Actually, every book I've read, apart from the poem, has had illustrations. That's not bad, you know. But yeah, this was great. I really, really enjoyed it. All the things that I've already said about it, but I just thought this was a great short story collection. I didn't even know this existed. Fortunate that I saw it on a table at Yout last year. I want to say last year? Yeah, last year. Saw it there and I was like, wait, that's a Lani Taylor book I haven't read. Oh my god, I need to read it because I love Strange the Dreamer. I also love Daughter of Smoke and Bone, the young adult series. I actually really want to get those books and reread that series. Just love Lani Taylor's writing, so I would really like to reread those at some point. Like, it's not a priority, but it's definitely something I would like to do. So yeah, this was absolutely wonderful. So yes, I am really impressed with the amount that I read. 2 manga, 1 novella, 1 short story, and a poem. That's really quite good. I think that's really nice. I'm very, very happy with this. It's been a really good day. I hope that you have all enjoyed day for yourself, even if it's just a few hours for yourself of a day where you just put some time aside to relax and enjoy some of your favourite cozy hobbies. I really hope you've been able to do that. Please let me know if you did decide to take part and what you decided to read, or what is your favourite cozy hobby? What is something that you really like to do just to unwind and take a little bit of time for you? You'll have to let me know. But I'm going to leave it there. So thank you so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate each and every single one of you that takes the time to watch these videos. It truly means the world. If you've made it this far, but you don't know what to comment, there was no connected goblin fruit. Put a fruit in the comments below, actually. If you've made it this far, you just don't know what to comment, you can leave a little fruit, but thank you. And if you've enjoyed this video, then please do consider giving it that thumbs up, subscribing, commenting. Those 3 things really help this channel out. My social media links, anyone I've mentioned, will be linked below for you, and I will of course catch you in the very next video.